Combat initiation is a standout in Roblox copycats. Most copies are often low effort and made in an attempt to chase the success of a popular game. However, combat initiation does more than simply copy ultrakill. While it is undoubtedly very similar to ultrakill, there are enough differences to separate it from its source, and in some ways put it above ultrakill. But what even are these two games? Ultrakill by Hakita and subsequently Combat Initiation by Windforce Interactive are both fast-paced movement shooters where you try to kill things quickly while keeping your scoring rank up. Your score increases with the higher rank you have and multiplier from moving. Using different weapons, pairing, or comboing will increase your rank as well. One major separation between the two games is that Ultrakill is on Steam while Combat Initiation is on Roblox, instantly creating a monetary wall dividing them. Despite this, they're still shockingly similar, and yet so different. One of the biggest differences between Combat Initiation and Ultrakill is theming. While Ultrakill takes on a retro PS2 style, even coming with a shader in-game to make it look more closely like a PS2 game, Combat Initiation takes after the style of old Roblox, using retro models, place designs, sounds, enemies, and so much more. However, the biggest functional difference is that Combat Initiation is a multiplayer roguelike. This means that you can play with multiple people, and after each game, you're set back to the start. Because of this, you get 3 lives per level, respawning in intermissions if you deplete all 3, as well as 3 server lives. Also, the main gameplay loop has a major change. Instead of fighting room by room, level by level, Combat Initiation has a wave-based structure. Each level has 10 or so waves, with an intermission at the middle and end of the level. During these intermissions, you can choose gears, or upgrade your weapons using ticks you get from the level. And once every wave and the boss is cleared, you continue to the next level. The biggest downside to the wave-based structure is there isn't mid-level secrets. The only thing close to secrets are event modes, which are pretty well advertised. To make up for this, however, Combat Initiation employs cosmetics, not the useless visual-only kind, but functional ones that actually affect gameplay. You can only have hats up to a weight of 3, but unlimited as long as you can keep it under the 3 weight limit. For cosmetics, you have other cosmetic hats, t-shirts, faces, or even death sound effects. The functional cosmetics are only earned through achievements, which means you can't get overpowered for doing nothing. Some of these cosmetics majorly change gameplay, such as the Dark Conjurer, which triples the kills needed for the zombie staff but replaces it with a larger zombie. To buy the visual cosmetics, you need to use the tokens you get for beating the game or by buying them, which helps support the creator because the game is free. The enemies found in Combat Initiation are really similar to those in Ultrakill, but the healing system is quite different in Combat Initiation. In Ultrakill, you can heal by parrying or punching enemies, with sand negating the ability altogether. However, in Combat Initiation, you heal by landing attacks, which gives you lifesteal, or by simply running away and passively rehealing, which takes a lot of time. Along with this, some weapons don't give as much lifesteal as others. This means you need to point your loadouts carefully so you can heal. I bring this up because the enemies in the game vary in difficulty as you'd expect, starting with Stage 1 enemies, such as the Noob, the Gunman, and Bobby. These enemies are the basic grunts. Enemies such as the Noob deal melee damage, while the Gunman does range damage. This would be a good time to note that you can parry a lot of things, such as bullets, bombs, or even balls. Along with this, each stage also has a boss, which for Stage 1, it's Jason, which is a stand-in for the Swords Machine. The attacks are very similar to the Swords Machine, doing a mix of melee and ranged attacks. While he is pretty easy to defeat, if you're not paying attention, you will die. Stage 2, which takes place on Chaos Canyons, you'll encounter the same enemies from level 1, as well as a few new ones, such as the Trooper, which moves while it shoots and occasionally launches a bomb, or the Emerald Blaster, which is just an improved gunman. The biggest addition in Stage 2 is the Giant. These enemies are very bulky and take a lot of damage to defeat. They only do melee damage, though they make shockwaves which can damage you after they attack. Along with this, if there's 2 or more giants together and one gets killed, the remaining giant will get enraged and become more powerful. Stage 2's boss is the Captain, which acts the same as V2 but with no second phase. The Captain can shoot you with a gun that can be parried to do massive damage, or a bomb that can also be parried. Along with this, he's always on the move, making him a difficult boss to defeat. Stage 3 takes place on glass houses and gives us even more dangerous enemies. One being the Killbot, which stays in the air and shoots you with a missile, and another big enemy, the Cannon, which is immobile though shoots a barrage of rockets at you. And lastly, the Mark, which stays across the map and shoots you with a high damage bullet, as well as a melee attack if you get too close. While there may not be many new enemies, the ones that are introduced are very powerful, as well as every previous enemy being here as well, leading to quite the difficult challenge. As expected, there's a new boss for Stage 3, which is the Vagabond, who constantly moves and attacks you with very dangerous projectiles as well as melee attacks. If you don't pay attention, you will easily die, though you can just nuke him and skip the entire fight. Stage 4, which takes place in Rocket Arena, is very unique. While the new enemies, such as the Flamethrower, which burns you, the Beacon, which can either airstrike you or make certain enemies invincible, and the Wizard, which circles around you in the air like a hornet, are pretty standard additions to new stages, halfway through, there's actually a boss fight, meaning there's 2 in Stage 4, which is the King. The King, which is the only mid-level boss, can move around the map really quickly, as well as this, he does massive damage, leading to him being very difficult to defeat, though the Draco Bloxxer is much more difficult. Having multiple attacks, such as a tail swipe that goes across the entire map, missiles that lock onto you, or the ability to disable your gears, makes it quite the menacing foe. And even though there's still one stage left, I still find this boss to be the most difficult in the game. Currently the last stage in the game is Stage 5, which is an iconic Doomspire map, though in a bit of disrepair. Stage 5 also introduces the Hunter, which is just a reskinned adjacent that functions exactly the same, the Smith, which jumps in the air to shoot you amongst other attacks, and the Contrapt, which shoots you with a minigun and does insane damage. And the boss for Stage 5 is arguably the most unique in the game, which is the Doombringer. Not only does he have an intro cutscene, which is the only boss in the game, but he can also throw a bus at you. As well as this, he also has voice lines during the fight, which is the only boss in the game who does this.
Death welcomes with open arms.
Though not as cool as a boss, the Doombringer also has multiple unique stages, one being just trying to attack him as the map constantly changes, another one where you have to go up a giant pillar to attack him at the top, and the final stage where you just beat him to death with hammers. His attacks are also pretty difficult. He gives little to no lifesteal, which is why he summons crystals that heal you when you break them, though he does have a hand attack that can crush you if you're not paying attention. This has been pretty short because thoroughly explaining the enemies would take a lot of time, but if for some reason you want to see that, let me know. Just like the enemies, Ultrakill's weapons are very similar to combat initiations. However, there's one major difference, and that's you only get to choose 2 at the start of the game. While this does limit you, it doesn't lock you out of the other options later on at a shop. Speaking of shops, at shops you can purchase other weapons or weapon upgrades by using ticks you get throughout the game. These shops either appear in the middle of a stage or at the end of the stage. As well as this, there's only 2 weapon categories, though it doesn't matter too much, which are primaries and secondaries. While they are technically different, you can have 2 primaries, 2 secondaries, or 1 of each. The first weapon is a sword, which is used to parry attacks, making it essential in a lot of playthroughs. The katana is one of the upgrades that's fast attacking and can parry quickly, while the firebrand, its other upgrade, is much slower, but dealing way more damage and applying fire effects. The sword also has a unique ability, which is pogoing. Next is the paintball gun, and as the name says, it's a gun, one of the few in combat initiation, and the only hit-scan weapon. Its 2 upgrades are the BB gun, which is just an upgraded gun that has a similar ability to the red revolver from Ultrakill, or the freeze ray, which can freeze enemies or even time bombs. This weapon's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Next is the slingshot. The slingshot has no cooldown and can quickly fire a bunch of pellets. It also has a unique ability, just like the green coin from Ultrakill, which is being tossed into the air to be parried by a sword and to hit an enemy automatically. The other upgrade, the Scatter Blaster, is basically a shotgun. You can charge it up to do a more powerful attack, and when parried, it does explosive damage, and when you fully charge it up, it creates a high energy ball that can explode. If you don't fancy that, then you can get a flamethrower. The flamethrower, interestingly enough, can repel you. This means you can use it as a movement item, though it's pretty bad. Similarly, you can use the canisters just like base level slingshot. Up next is a super ball, which I don't have much to say about as it can just be thrown like a ball. One of the upgrades is the cannonball, which does more damage and can reflect BBs off of it. Or you could choose to get ninja stars, which can stun enemies and do damage over time. The first secondary is the rocket launcher, which does splash damage. As well as this, you can use it to rocket jump. Its 2 upgrades are the multi-launcher, which can shoot multiple rockets at once and spread them out. Or you could choose to get the bazooka, which can hold a magazine of rockets that can fire 1 at a time, though they are weaker. Both are really good in their own way and really good for mobility, in more ways than just launching you. If you were to shoot a rocket, you can grapple onto it with a grappling hook and gain massive height. Up next is the time bomb, which detonates after a short period after being launched, and as said earlier, can be stopped by the freeze ray, or imbued with the firebrand. One of the upgrades is the subspace strip mine, which only detonates once an enemy walks over it. However, you and other bombs can still activate it. Lastly is the trowel. The trowel can create walls that can either block enemies, smash enemies, or explode when detonated by some kind of bomb. As well as this, its 2 upgrades are very different from each other. One of the upgrades, the Sentry, automatically fires at nearby enemies within its range. As well as this, it too can be imbued with fire or ice to gain different effects. Or you could bring both effects together and get a Super Sentry. and the other upgrade is the hammer, which can create better walls. These also detonate when triggered by a bomb, but its unique effect is that it can capture projectiles or other walls, and later place them back. Another addition to combat initiation is the use of gears. At the end of each stage, you get to choose between a selection of gears. There are 4 different types of gears, which include utility, which are often mobility such as a grappling hook, refreshers such as a cheeseburger or witch's brew, which give status effects or health, active such as a decoy deploy, which can be activated on command to do their job, and lastly passive such as a zombie staff, which are always on in the background buffing you. While these are just a few, there's plenty more to talk about, each with their own uses and benefits. Just like an ultrakill, you can use weapon combos or different gear combos. Some of my favorite include using the Slight Skin potion to knock down the Draco Bloxxer, which deals massive damage and stuns it temporarily, using the Witch's Brew to build up a bunch of bombs, making a nuke only to detonate it on the vagabond, or putting a sentry on the back of the Dark Conjurer giant zombie. Once again, these are just a few out of many. There's too many to talk about, and a lot of them are really fun to find out on your own. This entire video, I've spent comparing these two games, and by now you should realize that while they do have a lot in common, there's still a lot different between them. Sure, they share most of the enemies and weapons, but the differences still make them unique enough to both warrant your play, as well as support both projects as they're both ongoing and wonderfully made. Both will be linked below, and I hope you enjoyed, given you came this far. And if you actually enjoyed it, subscribe or something. If you want more from me, then click one of these 2 videos, as they should get the seal of approval from me. Also, let me know what you would want to see next, as I'm pretty clueless.